I know, but it'd be so funny if you don't talk at all. Just come here. It will be hilarious. You got to do it. It will be great. You can hold the subscribe pillow. Okay. Okay, now I got. Hi, I'm Sylivia Gordon. This is my daughter, Margaret Gordon, who does not want to be here, but since her aunt is not here, she's being forced to join me on the Wednesday wrap-up. We're going to talk about some clients getting their Part D plans canceled. Stay tuned. So, I know you're not talking. That's fine. But if you had a lot of clients getting their Part D plans canceled, would you be alarmed right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of you are alarmed. I'm not going to talk about the carrier. If you don't have a problem, you don't have a problem. If you do have a problem, you're probably already working on it. The carrier is aware of it, but it was a billing problem with Part D. When it went from 2020 to 2021, the auto drafts didn't include the increase. So that increase eventually grew. They were drawing the wrong amount until there was a delinquency and they got their plans canceled. So right about now, all these people are getting their Part D plans canceled and agents are going, what happened? So the carrier is aware of it and is working on it. But this is one of the reasons why I really recommend that you guys have everything taken out of Social Security. For years, I was an advocate against Social Security because Social Security had screwed up so many times. But Social Security's been on a roll. They've been doing it right. We have had no problems with Social Security auto withdrawal of premiums for Part D and MAPD. And I have gone back to that in my personal sales as my go-to for the least problems. So this has been years now that they've had their act together. And that's where if you don't want to have problems, don't do EFT from people's checking. Do Social Security withdrawal. How do you feel about that?
Very interesting. Happy to know it.
Okay, next up. These cards are going around. These cards say, hey, we're contacting you to inform you. Well, it says the client's name, Bruce. We're contacting to inform you that your assistant enrolling in Medicare has been scheduled for the date below. If you are not available for that time, please call 24 hours in advance to reschedule. You receive assistance in Medicare enrollment and any additional benefits you may qualify for. We're looking forward to assisting you at the enrollment center. And then it says your appointment is set for September 1st, 8:30 a.m. and the phone number. So clients are getting these cards and they're calling their agents, thank God. That's what we always want you to train them. If there's any type of suspicious mailing, to call you first, let you help them work through whether it is a fraud or if it's legit. So luckily they're calling their agents and their agent's like, that is a fraud. That is somebody trying to trick you into thinking you have an appointment. And whether it's illegal or not, I feel like it's grossly misleading and probably illegal. I don't know what we would necessarily call it, but it's happening. So it's just another reason why you guys need to have newsletters go out to your clients, and you need to take us up on our offer to do newsletters for you, because we put all this stuff, we aggregate a bunch of this stuff and push it out to your clients so that they can be aware, because it's really hard for you to constantly be warning them of these common scams that are going around. If you do a newsletter, you can talk to my daughter, Margaret, who is in charge of that, or you can do ringless voicemail. I mean, you could do your own email. You could call to your clients, but this is cause to alert them. Anytime these frauds come out and they're successful, then all the other scammers like, cool, I'm gonna do that too. So they don't go down once you bring them to the surface. They proliferate. That's a bummer to start off with. Some good news that I haven't gotten to is that in 2017, Congress passed a law to make hearing aids over the counter, which means you don't have to have a prescription to buy a hearing aid. Now, when this passed, everyone was like, if you don't use hearing aids, you're like, I don't know. But you have a lot of, to a certain extent,
Yeah,
we went
they
through with
need
Brian.
hearing
We went
aids.
through with Brian too.
Yeah.
It's always like, I can't hear you. I don't have my hearing aids
And
in.
they stop working so easily.
And you lose one, and
Yeah.
they're so expensive. Did Grandma tell you how much yours cost?
Like $7,000.
Yeah, $7,000, and that
Crazy.
was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, a while ago.
So they're expensive. And I remember when Brian got his, he lost one like the second day.
Expensive mistake.
And then we got him repaired, and then he jumped in the pool. And another one. Well,
It's
they're
hard,
little
yeah.
tiny $7,000 thingies. So this is really good news for your consumer. Again, this is good news for you to give to your clients during AEP. When you're doing your appointment, we have a lot of bad news. A lot of bad news with the astronomical expected rise in Part D costs. Of course, your horrible cost increase in Part D prices, B prices, blah, 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 blah. You know the feel, right? Maximum out of pocket has gone up from $6,700 to $7,550. Everything's going up. Here's some good news that you can give them, and that hearing aids being over the counter means you don't need a prescription. It means you can just go buy a hearing aid from Apple. I think Apple and Bose are both going to have products that they're going to offer, and they are going to be half price of the current models. Whoa. And that should be at market this summer. So look for summer of 2022 that you can go get cheaper, better hearing aids without having to go to an audiologist and spend that money and blah, 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 blah. So like I said, it's not a lot of great news, but I gave you something, okay?
We'll take it.
Right, take it. I mean, that's going to impact me. When I would get my hearing, because a lot of people don't get them. The data shows that people need a hearing aid for like 5 to 7 years before they ever actually make an attempt to get one.
Grandma sure did.
Right. So and part of that is you got to make an appointment. It takes forever to get in with an audiologist, and it's expensive. And then these are so expensive. So we removed a lot of those barriers so to make for a lot better retirement for, like, hopefully for me. I mean, right? Okay, let's talk about Illinois. Illinois, your home state. She loves Illinois. Illinois passed the birthday rule, as did Idaho and Nevada this summer. So your socialist Medicare policies are caving in on us. We've had them in the Northeast, and we've had them on the West Coast, and it's coming, baby. It's coming for you. Met with the NAHU FMO Advisory Council just a couple days ago at the annual MedSup conference in Chicago, and it's something that we all talk about because NAHU supported what happened in Nevada, and the state chapters don't always fall in line with the national chapters, and we need to get the message out that the birthday rule looks like it's a great thing. It looks like you can switch your Medicare supplement anytime. So in Illinois, you'll be able to switch your Medicare supplement from 65 to 75 every year in 45-day window surrounding your birthday. So from your birthday, you got 45 days that you can switch, and they can't ask you any health questions. So if you have Parkinson's or cancer or Alzheimer's, you're not stuck on your MedSup. You can switch to another one. So it looks like a win. However, insurance companies, if they're not going to make money, they're not going to file a plan there. And if they can't get out of it, because sometimes there's regulation, then they just make their prices go way high, or they have way slimmer plan offerings, way higher prices. It's never a win. Look at what's going on in Missouri. Look at what's going on in Washington State. Washington State has the least competition, has the lowest agent commissions. I mean, they're really putting pressure on the MedSup market when they start to do this. Idaho hasn't announced their definitive rules, how they're going to do the birthday rule, and I was just up there, and all the Idaho agents were freaking out. They're like, are we going to get paid? You know, if we move people around, are we going to get paid? I told them that it's most likely they will get paid, but it hasn't been announced yet. So they're freaking out. And the fact that we lost 3 states this year to the birthday rule means it's coming. That's not good news. So Prosperity is a brand new MedSup, tremendous rates. I think they're in like 13 states. Yes, they are in our home state of Indiana. And we are contracting right now. So the big household discount, blah, 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 all the good stuff you're looking at a new MedSup. Haven't had a new MedSup in a while. And as the prices are going up on all your existing block of business, your clients are looking for options. So call us today about Prosperity to see if it's in your state, definitely in Indiana. And stay tuned next week when I'm going to talk about some of the lawsuits that are going on against the big call centers that I'm sure is not going to break your heart. Thanks for watching. Rebecca, if you're out there, hope you're having a great vacation.